my gosh. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's try one more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, it's so good to see everybody. I was told I can take my mask down when I'm speaking to help, hopefully, for our friends that are watching from home. So good morning. Welcome. It's been a long time since we have been together. So it's so good to see you here in person. And so I am Susan Larson. In case you don't know, we do have new families around, so it's so good to have you here. And I children's ministry here at Bethel, and we're just excited to be finding ways to be able to connect. Is that me? I'm sorry. Is that my hair? I think it's my hair. Apparently, I'll be pulling my hair back from now on. So we, this morning, will plan to be here for about 40 minutes. And I know that we got started we'll be closer to 40 minutes today. But I also want to give my coworkers a chance to introduce themselves. So, Kari?
Hi, my name is Kari Tollefson, and I am the Children's Ministry assistant here. And one of my favorite things that I get to do with you guys, not during COVID, unfortunately, is do music. I love music, and so we usually have a chance to sing together during gathering time and VBS, but we will not be doing music here. That's okay. But anyway, so that's one of the things that I do with children's ministry. And I'm going to introduce Julie.
All right, can you hear me okay? Good morning. Oh, I've got tape. I'm supposed to stay right here. I don't follow the rules very good. How many of you are 5th and 6th graders in the room? Do we have any 5th? All right. You're the cool guys. No, you're all cool. I'm just teasing. You're all cool. So I do ministry for middle school kids, but we call it middle school ministry, but 5th graders get to jump into that. So it's 5th through 8th grade. And 5th and 6th grade on Sunday mornings are with me usually down in Youth Hall. Who knows where Youth Hall is? Does anybody know? Most of you should. I'll give you a hint. It's a big room down in the basement that we sing in. Now how many people know where Youth Hall is? Right? Yeah, we have fun down there. So 5th and 6th graders meet me down there and we do a lesson. But right now, because of the circumstances, we're going to do family ministry with our Sunday school friends. So that's a little bit about me. One of the things I do always on a Sunday morning when we all get to see each other is I like to do the greeting, the Lord be with you. And usually when I say that, just like when the pastors say it in church, all you guys get to say, and also with you. Do you want to practice it once? Okay, are you ready? The Lord be with you. And hopefully all our friends at home had a chance to say that too, because we're thinking of you too. So that's me.
Thanks, Julie. So the things that I just wanted to review. So this looks totally different than what we have ever done before. And it can be confusing and a little challenging. So I just wanted to review or let you know a few things. So Family Sunday School, we will be double checking on what we're doing about every 6 to 8 weeks. So the next time we'll look at things is at the end of October. And at that point, the decision that we make for moving forward will stay with us through Christmas. And then we'll reassess at Christmas again and see where we're at. So I know sometimes it feels good just to have a general idea that if we're trying to make changes, it's good to have a period of time that we know it maybe won't change. The one little piece that could change is if things get worse or we're seeing more COVID in the community, there may be a point in time where we move to fully online. We hope that that doesn't happen, but we know that for taking care of each other, those are the decisions that we might have to make along the way. So for Family Sunday School, we have over 60 families that are interested in coming in person. So if you are here today, we would ask you to wait until October 25th to sign up again, because that will be our 5th week of Family Sunday School. I know that that's a long time to wait, especially when you want to be here, but it's just what we have to do for right now. Kari? Oh, yes. And so the one thing is, if there are openings Friday or later, then anybody can sign up. So if you want to check back to that sign up link, and that sign up link I plan on setting up to send out every Monday at 7 a.m. So every Monday at 7 a.m. is when we'll send out a link for that following Sunday. And so hopefully you will still continue to join us online when you are not able to be here in person. And know that at any point in time you can call or email us. We are here and available. We continue to work full time, which we have been very blessed by that. So does anybody have any questions about Family Sunday School? All right. So one of the things I wanted to share with you this morning is you all received a bag for Family Sunday School. And inside of it, one of the things, well, you'll find that you've got some supplies like crayons and markers and scissors, things like that. So I don't need to show you those because you guys know how to use all of those, right? But one of the special things that we have put together so that you can set time aside. And yeah, if you want to pull it out of your bag right now, that would be awesome. So there's a Ziploc baggie, and inside of it, it has some things that we will use for a family altar or at-home altar, but we can set it out here too. So what I will do is I'll show you these different pieces. Or Julie, do you want to pull pieces out and I'll talk about them a little bit? So the first thing, you'll find some felt. So you're going to lay out your felt, and that will be kind of like your altar cloth. You know, when you're in church and they have all those pretty pieces of fabric that are out, they're called paraments, so this will serve as your altar cloth or your parament, all right? Then you will find a cross in the bag. And that cross, you can try and stand up or you can lay it down flat. And these crosses, actually, if you are a crafty family and would like to decorate it, you can use paint on them. You can use markers if you had some fancy stuff to glue on, but you could make it your own. Then the next piece is a picture of Jesus. So we want to remember that Jesus is the center and the focus of our time. And then our last piece is a candle, because we always have candles at church, right? And these candles are a little safer. They probably have a little tab you need to pull out, but then you can turn on your candle. So we hope that when you're coming to Family Sunday School at home, that you will set these pieces out. So it's kind of a reminder that this is time that we're going to set aside to build our faith as a family. All right, so there was one other thing. You got a green folder. And inside your green folder, there are a couple of, there's the family altar description, so you can review that. There's also a bookmark of the Faith 5. You've got an extra one on your table if you're here this morning. And then on this side, there's just a couple of little supply pieces that you'll use. So today we're going to use the yellow cardstock. So you could even pull that out of your folder right now. All right? So with that, I think we are ready to get to our lesson, which we're going to move through things, right? All right. So we are going to use the Faith 5 as kind of our stepping off point for our time together. Because this is Family Sunday School, it looks a little different than how we might do it when we're in person in a classroom with friends and a teacher. So the Faith 5 is something that I hope you have heard about, but if you're new to Sunday school, you may not have heard about it yet. But the Faith 5 is a way to share your faith with your family when you're at home, when you're away. Some people use it at bedtime. Sometimes people are using it at dinner time. Maybe it's in the car when you're driving. So the Faith 5 has 5 steps, and the first one is to share highs and lows. The second step is to read a Bible verse or a Bible story. 3 is talk. So you would talk about that Bible story, and then you would pray together. And if you don't know quite what you want to pray for, you can always pray about your highs and lows, or our backup prayer that is always a perfect prayer to use is the Lord's Prayer. So, and then at the end that you would bless each other. And some families will make the sign of the cross on each other's heads and say something like, "You are a child of God." So today we're going to start with our Faith 5. And so we're going to take about 3 minutes to share highs and lows with your family. So just we'll take a couple of minutes and share a high and a low. And I have a little thing or something to tell you. My high is being here with you. So, all right. All right, so we're going to come back together now, and I'm going to invite Julie up. She is going to start. So our lesson today, we're following the narrative lectionary. So you're going to hear the same stories that you would have heard if you were in worship, and I know several of you were in worship. So today we are learning about Abraham and Sarah, and so Julie is going to start us off.
All right. Well, hopefully you had some fun sharing highs and lows. That's such an important part of each day for a family. And the Faith 5 is such a cool thing to try to use at home too. with your family each day. Even if you just hit parts of it, it really helps you to take that quality time with your kids and share a high and a low and say a prayer together and do a devotion. So if we have time at the end, we're going to share a couple of those highs and lows and include them in our prayer. So our lesson today is about Abraham and Sarah, and I'm going to share with you that first story that's on page 39 of your Bibles. So of the Beginner Bible, page 39, and it's called A New Home, and it's from Genesis 12 through 17. All right. Okay, so our first page has Abraham and Sarah on the front. Or Rebecca, excuse me. Sarah? Okay. Wow, I mixed up my ladies for a minute. I'm sorry. All right, so Abraham loved God, and so did his wife Sarah. And they're both right there on that front page. One day, God told Abraham to move to a new land. So along with their helpers, Abraham and Sarah packed up and went. Abraham's nephew was Lot. Lot and all of his helpers went with him, or went with them too. So you can see Lot there on the camel with all of his helpers. So now are they horses or camels? I think they're camels, right? Yep. So page 42, the helpers began to fight. There was not enough grass for all the animals. So Abraham said to Lot, "You pick your own land to live on." Lot chose the best land. It had the most green grass and the most water for his animals. Lot moved to his new home. Okay. And we turn to page 44. Then God gave Abraham a blessing. God said, "All the land you see here will be yours forever. Also, you and Sarah will be blessed with many children." God led Abraham and Sarah to a place called Hebron. It was beautiful. And that ends the first story for us. As you think about this, the thing that stood out to me the most was the way that God told Abraham and Sarah to just pick up and move. And they listened to God, and they did what he instructed. Have any of you ever moved? Raise your hand if you've ever moved. Yeah? Has anybody moved from a different place than Minnesota? Have you come from a different state? Share with us what state you came from. No? Okay, they've all got their hand up. Has anybody moved from somewhere other than Minnesota to Minnesota? Yeah, share with us. Wisconsin, all right. They moved from Wisconsin to Minnesota. And it's an awful big job, isn't it, to pack up? Well, anytime you move, it doesn't matter. But it's a big job for everyone. So, all right, I'll pass the lesson on to Susan.
Okay, there, I think. Now I am. All right. So the next story is just right after the one that Julie read, and it is called The Visitors. So one hot day, Abraham was resting near his tent. He heard footsteps. 3 men were standing nearby. Abraham went out to greet them. "Would you like to rest in the shade? We have plenty of cool water to drink. Can I get you something to eat?" So we'll turn the page. And I have to tell you something about this story. This story is one of our murals downstairs in room L6. So that's kind of fun. So you can check it out sometime when we're back in classrooms. Abraham told Sarah about the visitors. He asked her to make a tasty meal. While they were eating, the 3 visitors shared some exciting news. They said, "Your wife is going to have a son." Sarah heard what they said. She laughed, thinking, "I am too old." God asked Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Anything is possible with the Lord." Sure enough, the next year, Sarah had a baby boy. They named him Isaac. So did you know that Sarah, not only was she old, she was about 100 years old. Now that would be like maybe a great-grandma in our families, right? Can you imagine your great-grandma having a baby? Oh my goodness, even your grandma. That's kind of silly. Here we are, we laugh about it. No wonder Sarah laughed. But we know that with God, anything is possible. So, all right. We are next going to take a little bit of time, and you're going to need your yellow paper now, or your yellow cardstock. All right. And so we heard about how God promised Abraham that he would have many, many children. And or if you hear the whole story, it talks about that Abraham will have countless descendants, as many as the stars in the sky, or as the grains of sand on the seashore. So he began with Isaac when he was an old man, right? And so what we're going to do today is make a little hanging family tree. And you can cut these into stars. So you could make a star on your paper. And I should have had a sample of this, but I don't. So I'll work on it while you guys are working on it, all right? So we are going to, if you want to make some stars on your sheet, and we will try and we'll start with like your immediate family, and then, but you can add grandmas and grandpas too to that. We'd love to have grandmas and grandpas. And then we're going to use the hole punches to put them together. So maybe grandma and grandpa are at the top, and then mom and dad are the next ones down, and then the kids will be under that, all right? So I'm gonna work on this a little bit too while you guys are working on it, all right? No. So if you wanna just trace, or make a star on your sheet that's big enough for you to write a name on, and this might be something that we share at home later or work on later too. Here again. Sorry. I don't have a hair tie. What? Oh. So, thank you. I know this. Okay. Oh. Yep. So here's my first star, all right? So I would write maybe my name on it, and then I'm going to punch a hole in the top of the star, and then I would make another one with my husband's name. His name is Eric, and I would put him on the other side, all right? My beautiful stars here. Oh, no, you're good. No, you cut. I'm going to grab. I know, So as you're working on this, I would just encourage you to talk about who are the members of your family and share that, because we don't always know exactly. Maybe you have some stories to share about them too.
And remember, your stars don't need to be perfect, because we're not perfect, right? Humans are not perfect. We are perfect in God's eyes, and He forgives us, but we're not perfect. So your stars can look individual. They can look unique for you.
Okay. Oops, thank you. Oh, and I do have a scissors. I took one from. So, here I'll show you the start of mine. So on one side, I have Eric. And then on the other side, I have Susan, because that's my husband. And then we have 2 kids. And Julie, will you hand me that? There's a piece of yarn that's cut. Thank you. So we're just going to put the yarn through. And tie a little knot in it, all right. And then I can take and add to mine. I have a daughter, her name is Danielle. So I wrote her name on. So then I'm just putting her star right below our stars. And then we have a son whose name is Ed, and I'm going to write Ed's name. So then I'm going to put Ed as the next one. So when you go home, you could hang up your family tree of stars, and you can add to it if you want. You wouldn't have to use yellow paper. You could make it your own, all right? All right. So you can kind of continue to work, but I just wanted to tell you that, so the next step in the Faith 5 is, sorry, I'm going to pull it down, is to pray together. And so as part of the lesson today, there is a prayer that's included. But again, remember that you can use your shared highs and lows, things that are going on around us are always good things to pray about, or the Lord's Prayer again. But so we're going to take just a minute. If you would put down your supplies and fold your hands and bow your heads to say a prayer. I know it's hard to wait when we're working hard on these things, but if you would just join me in prayer. Loving God, thank you for the wonderful and surprising ways you fulfill your promises. Thank you for family, for friends, for our fathers and our mothers in faith who teach us how you would have us live. Help us to each recognize the value of our relationships and to see your work in the world. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So you can kind of keep working on that a little bit. As you are working on it, are there any highs and lows that anybody would like to share? Does anyone have a high or a low? Will? Oh my goodness. Will got a lizard yesterday. Will, does your lizard have a name? Obi-Wan. Oh, awesome. Obi-Wan the lizard is Will's high for the week. That's an awesome name too. Does anyone else have something to share? Alyssa? You saw Caitlin? Oh, that would be a high. Her sister, Caitlin, is a student at Mankato, Minnesota State, Mankato. I actually went there, but they changed the name, so I get confused. All right, awesome. Christian, did you have one to share? You got a new toy on Friday?
Yeah.
What kind of a toy?
It's a monster jam.
A monster jam? Oh, so awesome. So Christian got a new toy called Monster Jam. Awesome. All right. Well, I know that everybody is working hard still, but to keep us on track, we are going to do the blessing, all right? So the blessing for today is that you are a child of God, just like Isaac, all right? So if you would take just a minute and, all right, so Julie is, put my mask up. So Julie, you are a child of God, just like Isaac. All right, so if you take just a minute and bless the people at your table. So you can take turns so that everybody has a chance to be blessed and to give a blessing, all right? And if you want to shorten it, you can shorten it to you are a child of God. And if you want to make the cross on your forehead, or maybe you want to give a hug, or maybe it's a fist bump, all right? So we'll take a couple minutes for that. All right. So I know that our time here has gone fast. And so I first want to thank all of you for coming today. Remember that for families watching from home today, that the email will come out on Monday morning at 7 a.m. for you to sign up for September 27th. All right? And with that, one of the things that we do, kids, can anybody tell me what we do at gathering time when we're downstairs in youth hall? How do we end each week? Braden? We pray. What prayer do we say, Braden? The Lord's Prayer. Exactly. So, families that are here, if you would just put your supplies down for just a minute, we are going to close with the Lord's Prayer, and then we will take a few minutes to give you a chance to clean up and finish up your projects, all right? So please join me in prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right. So our friends who are joining us online, thank you for being here, and we hope that you have a wonderful week, as well as everybody who's here. All right.